This episode is sponsored by Tattoo Away, a groundbreaking solution for safe and effective tattoo removal. Unlike traditional laser methods, Tattoo Away uses an innovative non-laser technique called trans-epidermal pigment release. This method gently lifts and removes tattoo ink from the skin, working on all ink colors and skin types while minimizing the risk of scarring and promoting healthier skin. With over 8,000 successful treatments completed worldwide, Tattoo Away has proven to be a trusted leader in tattoo removal. So whether you're considering removal, revision, or cover-up, visit tattooaway.com to find a location near you and schedule a free consultation. On a personal note, I'm currently undergoing the tattoo removal process with a tattoo on my leg that I've had. For years, I've lived with this tattoo. It's a gang tattoo and kept me from wearing shorts because of the affiliation. It put my life at risk. So I made the decision, and with Tattoo Away, it's been incredible. The process has been smoother than I even imagined. To be honest, the pain is virtually non-existent in some areas, and in some spots where I did feel something, it was far less painful than getting the tattoo in the first place. The full session for my leg took just about an hour. About 2 more sessions, I'll be completely done, and my tattoo will be removed. The professionalism of Tattoo Away is awesome. They answered every question that I had, went over and beyond to help me prepare and even continue to support me through the healing process. So huge thank you to Tattoo Away for your partnership and your mission. If you're interested in learning more or want me to personally connect you with them, feel free to email me at carlosvasquez@howtobattle.com. I'm happy to help, or you can visit their website at tattooaway.com for more details. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the episode. At the age of 19, I stepped into California maximum security prison with a heavy burden. I had a 20-year sentence with 2 strikes against me. The stark reality of prison life hit me hard. In this harsh place, eventually an older inmate named Spade, a veteran with, at that time, about 20 years of prison time under his belt, imparted wisdom that would shape my existence in those walls and beyond. That's apart from Rule 1 in my latest book, Warrior in the Garden, 7 Rules for Men. And Rule 1 is keep your eyes and ears open, mouth shut. The power of observation and silence. So, Spade, what does that mean to you?
Well, when I first met you, like I said, I'd already heard about you. I already knew who you were. And we immediately connected because you had this aura about yourself. It's the way you carried yourself. So, and I knew you were somebody that I could build with. Someone that would listen to positive feedback a person would give you. That's what you did. So observation and understanding what's going on around you, because a lot of times we come to prison and we don't get that from people. People just won't try to give you any kind of constructive wisdom or criticism to help you, further yourself in a positive direction, because prison's not built on that, so.
Yeah, and that wisdom and those little jewels that you dropped on me through my journey, helped me to evolve into who I am today and make it through prison.
Yes.
Which in prison, one wrong thing can cost you everything,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So those little things helped me make good decisions.
Exactly.
And so I remember you told me that, keep your eyes and ears open, mouth shut. Be observant and be selective with your words.
Yeah.
And I took that with me through my whole entire journey. And even now in the work that I do, right? Being very careful about what I say because words carry power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I call you Spade because that's when I met you. You were Spade, but you're Michael. I saw you grow a lot as well. And I'm here with you today after you've been out how long now?
4 months.
4 months, and you served
31 years and 3 months.
31 years, 3 months straight.
Yes.
How does it feel to be out after serving 31 years?
It feels incredible. It's like a dream. It's like a dream come true. All the struggles I went through in there just to get prepared to be out here, At one time I never thought I was going to get out.
Right.
Going in there and, and I bumped my head for a long time in prison, for a long time. And it took me well into my 40s to finally start working on myself where I needed to get, and mentally, you know, which I should have been did, but I was still stuck. I was stagnant, you know, because of the mindset I had for so long, and I didn't want to let it go, you know. So
What kept you stuck? What do you think that was?
fear, like fear of the unknown, fear of change, you know,
Yeah.
fear of change, because I was used to doing something one way for so long, you know, and that's all I really pretty much knew.
Yeah.
Once I developed that, you know, so I didn't want to let it go. You know?
Yeah. So like growing up, I know I've learned through my experiences working with other people that there's always impact events that lead up to a person ending up in prison or, you know, wherever in life. There's always impact events or impactful people. Growing up, who were those impactful people and what were those impactful events that led you to go into prison and down that path to have to get a life sentence, right?
Well, that would be family members, some certain family members that I looked up to, you know, and the lifestyle they was living, you know, instead of like taking your younger cousins and showing them something better, you introduced them to a lifestyle of gangs, drugs, and all that type of stuff. But I was infatuated with that lifestyle, you know, instead of me continuing to play sports and doing all this type of stuff in school, you know, I'd rather follow and do this, you know,
Yeah.
which didn't make much sense.
Yeah, I remember you said playing sports. A picture came into my mind that you showed me one time when we were in prison of you you were younger and you were in a football uniform, right? And you love football, you love sports.
Yeah.
What do you think it was that like beyond, you know, the attraction to that life, what kept you from playing sport? Because you love sports, so you love both. It's in essence the sports, and you were good at it, and you still love sports. It's like something within you that's drawing you toward that. But then like the gang life and, you know, all the things that come with that, was that like a stronger force or?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was stronger force. And it was a trip, like, when I did do sports and stuff like that, I always took the sports. So they taught you, like, camaraderie and, you know, discipline and all that stuff. So I took all the stuff I learned in sports and I applied that to the negative aspect of my life when I started the gangbang stuff. I took all this good stuff I learned and try to make myself a better gang member, be the best gang member I could be.
Yeah. Sometimes when I talk to people, I always talk about the good in everything in any situation. Like in the gang world, it's so like just much negativity there, right? We know that. But some of like the most loyal and greatest people I've met in that world and now understanding their brokenness, I understand that they just were who they were because of their conditioning, but deep down there's somebody great within there. And it's like when you, like you say, your heart, your passion, your commitment, your loyalty, your dedication that you have for sports and for everything, because that's just what I know you as, whatever, you're a person that can be trusted. You gave that all to that, you know. And I think that's where me and you connected. Because we both felt that in prison, that we gave everything to that. And we realized that we weren't getting that back, right? So was that a part of the change? Like eventually when you saw that and felt that?
Yes. That was a big part of it, you know. Because I see like a lot of young dudes coming in now, and I used to just like, man, like, because the system has changed so much, and just I used to be just like them, you know. So I would always, like I said, try to like impart some kind of wisdom into them, or some kind of like healthy balance, you know. Show them like you can do something different, you know, for the ones that were receptive to it. You know, I think that was like one of the reasons I'm here now. One of the reasons I got out.
Yeah. How important was like self-help for you in prison? And even if it wasn't a group necessarily, what kind of practices did you do in prison to help you get out? Because there's people in there that are going to listen to this that have probably 30 years in, you did 31 years, like, and they might have given up hope, maybe feel like they can't, but you started in your 40s, right? So like, what were some of the things you did that others may be able to do?
Self-help for me was big, you know. I started self-help, like, I got out of the SHU one time, and I was at Kern Valley, and they had a SAT program they had just started, and they was trying to get people to go to it. I didn't want to go But I told the counselor if they put me in there, assign me to it, I'll go. So they assigned me to it, and that was like my first glimpse of, okay, structure in a group and doing things like that. And it was healthy, you know. Even though we was on a level 4 prison, there was a bunch of politics going on still. But at that time, when we go to the group, you know, I seen something like, okay, this is something I could do. This is something that could help me be a better person, you know. And I started doing that. And from that point on, I dabbled in self-help. I would go to different groups and stuff like that. People would invite me to go to groups, so I would just go check them out. I remember we were just sitting there, we started doing groups.
Yeah.
You know, we would sit in that day room and just, you know, and go over things. Y'all was way more advanced, you know. Even though I was older, you know, I still learned a lot from you.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel one of my gifts is I've always been a fast learner.
Yeah.
So once I got into it and I went down the rabbit hole of that, I wanted to share it. Because like anything in life, it's only great if you share it, right? And so all the stuff I was soaking in, I wanted to share with the people that I felt would really appreciate it. And I knew like you and our other friends that are still have been on this podcast, there was something great within there, you know. It's like, and so how can I in some way help with that? But I feel also that once you have that, it's like an obligation to pay it forward, right?
Yeah,
So when I left and you went your own direction, and we would talk on the phone, you would be talking about how you were helping others and mentoring others, and there's a great ripple effect that comes with doing that, and that's how you change the world, right? And so like no matter what we've been through, we all have the ability to send a ripple out there, and you definitely have done that for me too.
It's good that you said that ripple effect, because for so many years it was a negative ripple effect that I caused, you know. But like I said, going to group, being able to talk to other people, being able to open up and listen and stuff like that. Because I used to like be in groups and sometimes be like, man, this dude, I'm not listening to this dude. He don't know what he's talking about. He hasn't been through what I've been through, but we all have different stories, you know. So I had to open my mind to that, and that helped me, like I said, get to where I'm at, you know. Helped me change my life around.
Well, how do you handle, I mean, do you feel like you've experienced trauma in your life?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think like in some way we all have, but how do you now like deal day to day with that trauma like that you've dealt with in the past? Like, how do you get through that? Because you're out here doing great already, and you're, you know, you're keeping your head up, you're keeping a smile on your face, you're positive. Like, how do you, with all the stuff you went through, like, how are you able to, you know, deal with the day to day?
A lot of times I look at it like things happen, whatever happened for a reason, you know. And I'm still here, you know. It hasn't breaking me. I live off of that, you know. That keeps me going day to day. So it's simple, but it works for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there's a simple answer to a complex question.
Yeah.
I agree. I ask this question sometimes too because I feel I want to highlight the bad and good in a lot of things. I feel like it's never just one-sided. So in prison, what was one of the worst things you saw, but also one of the greatest things that you saw, the most beautiful thing in prison?
Oh my God, I see some terrible stuff in there. People that you know getting stabbed, people getting killed, like people getting beat by the COs, and people getting dirty politic. But the best thing I seen in prison was people helping others. You know, a lot of people don't think that happens in there or not, but it does. I meet some of the best people, like you said, in my life in prison, you know, and just being able to like help mentor and things of that nature, you know. So that's to me, passing something down that you learn, that's helpful.
Exactly. And I think, because you mentioned the SHU earlier, and for those who don't know what that is, the SHU is a solitary housing unit, right? Segregated housing unit. And I remember all of the bad stuff too, right? Like how you said, the killing, and somebody that you used to like walk laps with every day, and everybody on the yard knows he's gonna get stabbed except for him.
Yeah.
And that feeling of like just knowing that this person you talk to all the time, that you've created some type of connection with, might get killed and you can't do anything really about it. That's horrible. And then being treated bad. But when I was in the SHU, I remember there was a man, and I talked about it in my book too, that shared his last top ramen with me when I didn't have any food in there. Like and I never forgot that, because this same guy who shared it with me, in any other circumstance, we would have been enemies. So when my enemy fed me when I was starving and gave me half of what he had, it made me feel like there was a level of humanity still there, even in a place like that. And it gives me hope, and it really gives me hope out here in this world. Because if you can see that, you can pretty much feel like anything can be done. And literally, I'm telling you, it's those people, like you said, that are a reason why we're here today. So my thing is, when people highlight prison, let's highlight the bad in it, of course, because it is bad, and I don't want to glorify it like it's a great place for young people because they listen to this, because it's not. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
But there's beauty in everything, even in a place like that. So in the struggles of life, and life, out here, as it gets challenging, more challenging, and you'll see, I've been out 3 years, 6 months, you've been out a few months, right? So it's not going to really get any easier, but you just become more equipped to handle it. That's the difference. And so always look for the beauty in things, even the trials and tribulations. Yeah. And you have amazing people in your life.
Yeah, I do.
Let's talk about those amazing people and like who they are and what do they mean to you.
Amazing person. My fiance, Yolanda, she's helped me tremendously, since I've been out. Before I got out, she's helped me adapt. She's helped me adapt to everything that's going on out there. If I don't know something, and I'm trying to figure something out, she always shows me the right way to do things, and she be holding me accountable. So, that's a blessing. Beautiful person. My sister, she's being there for my sister. They came and picked me up. They came and picked me up the day I got out, went, and we had a beautiful day. It was I went and jumped in the ocean my first day out, and they was there with me. They recorded it. It was
That's amazing. How did that feel when you just jumped in the ocean?
Oh my God.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it was cold. It was a cold day up there.
Yeah.
In San Luis Obispo. I went to Pismo Beach. Jumped in the water though. That's something I wanted to do,
Yeah.
But my sister, she's been there for me. Like I said, she's had her own battles, but we've always been close, and I'm her little brother. So she's been there for me, strong. She's been there for me.
Yeah.
So, I got my cousin Barbara, she just came back to California some years ago to take care of Mom. My auntie that just passed away. She's been by my side. She's been in my corner, I got strong women.
Yeah.
That's been helping, a lot of strong women, so.
I don't really know them personally, but I know enough to know that they didn't do any of that expecting anything in return. But to reciprocate that, what can you do?
They just want me to be a stand-up individual, as long as I do that, and I'll be all right, They're not rushing me to do anything. They say, take your time, man. As long as I just make the right decisions when you move, whatever you're doing. Make sure you're passionate about it, you care about what you're doing, and they know I what I want to do as far as helping people out. That's something I'm passionate about, so.
Yeah, because you were taking care of people in prison. You
and that's something my family did. My mom did that. My sister, she works in that field as well. So it's something I want to do too.
Do you feel that society or the justice system could have done better for you, young Spade in the streets growing up in that environment? Could they have done better for you, and if so, in what way?
That's crazy, because I was just talking about this a few days ago. Okay, I was going to school. I was in junior high school, and my mom wanted to move me to another school. So, because I was starting to get in trouble there. So she's like, man, I'm gonna get you away from your friends. And she moved me to another school in another school district. Now, she had to go in there and have a meeting with the people because I was out of the district. So they agreed to let me go there, but they said, if you get in any trouble, we kicking you out. Okay, so fast forward. I'm going to school there for about a month. And then I ended up getting into a fight. Because some guy snatched something out of my hand. And I always had that, you're not taking nothing from me. That's the stuff they put in my mind as a little kid. So we started fighting, and I got kicked out of school. And at that time, I was 13. And that's when my life really started to change, because then I went to continuation school and everything like that. And I said that I felt like the system just gave up on me, a little troubled kid, all the resources out there, you're gonna kick them out and just send them out there to like continuation school. And at that time, continuation school was like a breeding ground for young gang members. We go to
Yeah.
school for 2 hours and
Yeah.
then we leave.
Yeah.
So it wasn't conducive to like nothing instructor, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, at that time, I felt like that was the system, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it could have been, you know. But I was a young, bad kid,
Yeah.
you know. But I felt like, you know, probably more that could have been done,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's always more could have been done, especially when you're young. Now that I see young, I go to like the juvenile facilities and I'm talking to them and I'm seeing like our younger selves in them. And I try to talk to them and tell them things that I feel like I would need to hear when I was younger. You could tell when they listen, you know, like, because I know, remember when I was younger and I would listen, it'd be really obvious. So now, like, what would you tell young Spade, you know, young kid that was just about to get into gangs and trouble? What would you tell him now today if you had a chance to go back?
I would tell him that is a life that you really get, you don't get, there's no benefits in it. You know, everything is going to end up, it's nothing going to be good out of it.
Yeah.
Nothing going to good out of it. Eventually you're going to end up being locked up. That just goes with it. It's like a part of the culture. You have to go to jail. You have to get locked up. I would just tell them that there's other ways to go about getting your point across. You know, because a lot of times, for me, I feel like I'm gonna get my point across through this gang because I don't have no responsibilities to no one but them. And I know a lot of kids feel the same way, you know. You have a dedication to something because you might have family members involved in it. And with me, I never differentiated my family from my gang, you know, because I had so many family members in the gang.
Yeah.
So I just like, my homies, you're my family,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
I was extreme with it. When you mess with them, you're messing with my family. And I know how that can suck a kid in. Because you feel like you have to do something because uncles, cousins is part of it.
Yeah.
And the peer pressure is always there.
Yeah.
But like when you 12, 11, 13, you don't have that foresight to see things that's gonna come
Right.
in the future. You might have some kids that can see it, but we really don't look past, you know,
Yeah.
what's there for us.
Yeah, you said something that like really hit me, which was in that culture is like you have to go to prison because it's so true, and people don't understand that. But you're not really in the gang life. You don't really aren't really respected until you go to jail or prison.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's like almost like a rite of passage. It's like this is a part of it, and until you go through that test, you won't truly be a man within this culture. Like what we look at is what a man is in this culture. And so when you're young, you're almost like anticipating it coming. You're manifesting it because you're constantly thinking and even mentally preparing for it in a way.
Yes.
Looking up to those that just get out, right, and tell you how it is. And it's like different when you're being told how it is than when you go in there, especially since most of the guys that tell us how it is didn't do hard time, right? They've done like a little time.
Yeah.
But once you go in, you're like, damn, I'm going to be in here for decades or like maybe forever. It's different. So my message is to young people or people just to understand why people like us do what we've done in the past is because, you know, our ideology of what manhood is was part of going to prison and proving yourself in that environment, in that arena of life. And then you get back out and you're respected and people look up to you and you're blessed with things. And it's crazy like how that is. It's a destructive way of thinking, you know? And I just feel that like going through it, now, like our message to young people is that it doesn't need to happen. You don't need to be a part of that or going on that path to be accepted and respected and loved and appreciated and given things in life. If anything, you do the opposite of that. right? And find new groups of people in your life.
Especially now, because there's so many different resources out there for the youth
Yeah.
now. More than, so when I was coming up, we had a couple of things, but we didn't have the resources like we have now, Even when I was a kid, they cut a lot of social things that was going on in the communities and stuff like that. So it was like, we didn't have much,
Yeah. So what's your like goals now, 3 years from now? Where do you want to be? What are your dreams? What do you want to pursue now that you're out? You've spent so much time in prison, but you're still healthy. You can create the life you want to create. You have amazing people around you. What are some of the things you want to do now?
When I'm gonna continue educating myself, I want to go to school. I'm trying to get my AA. I almost got it when I was inside there, but I failed one class, statistics. So I got to go back and get that so I can get my AA, sociology, And I also want to start a nonprofit. Me and my fiance have been talking about that. Something I want to do, so 'cause I want to be able to find a way to give back, to the youth, stuff like that. So it's
I think it's fitting for you. Like that's part of your destiny is to do a nonprofit of some sort, and because I mean, there's no greater joy out here in this world than helping others. Like when you've helped a person, there's no better than that. Like money, material things, it's good to a certain degree, and then you realize that there's so much more important things in life, and so I definitely see that for you and your fiance too, and I hope that you guys pursue that. Good. So what about, since you've been out, what's been some of the challenges?
Technology.
Yeah.
Technology, it seems like that's something I'm just learning. I'm still learning every day. Just going to the store, like usually when I first got out, trying to use a credit card, doing the sliding and all that stuff. I'm like, you like that to show me how to do that. Like I said, like if I don't know something, she helped me do it.
Yeah.
So, and people, seeing how fast everything is, and then everybody's in a rush to do this and that. Like I said, whether it be in the store or in traffic, driving, people cutting people off. It's just like, no one like sits there and like take their time and just like wait. Nobody's courteous, like, not nobody.
Right.
I'm not saying everybody like that, but I see a lot of that. Like when you go, and I'll be like pushing the basket, I'll be like, excuse me. She'll be like, nobody like, I'm in the store saying excuse me to everybody and stuff like that. Stop and letting people go by and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really move like that.
We definitely need more kindness in the world, right?
Yeah, because we come from that environment. The environment I just left, it was a little more like,
It's interesting because in an environment that's not really kind, kindness is almost like a rebellious state.
Yeah.
So I remember being in there, and I know you were very kind in there to everybody.
Yeah.
Like you really, later when I met you, I know when you were younger, not so much, but neither was I. But eventually I think that once we like reached the pinnacle of like who we were as that other identity in that gang world, and we did everything, we committed our life to it, we gave our life to it. Once we realized that kindness was almost like this foreign thing that nobody did, it empowered us because we did it. And it was almost like, as intimidating it could be sometimes to be kind in a place like that, because people could take that for weakness.
Exactly.
Yet and still, we did it. It was like that side of us that knew that we knew better.
Yeah.
And so now the kindness comes out here in a world that needs it as well.
It takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
And there to be kind, just like, hey, how you doing? Speaking to people in the morning, stuff like that. Cause got doors open, guys should be looking all tough. You got guys going, that type of stuff. Like, hey, good morning, how you doing?
Yeah.
And like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's just little things like that. You can make a person, you can make a person's day sometime by just speaking to them or whatever it may be. Like if someone needs something, I was. If I got something and food or something like that, I don't like to see nobody hungry. If I can help somebody out, I'll try.
Yeah.
That's just where I was raised up. So.
Yeah, it's powerful, man.
Yeah.
It truly is in a place like that when you feel that kindness and level of care, and camaraderie and brotherhood, and like that's, a very rare thing in prison. But when you find it in individuals, it's like you grasp onto that, which is why I feel like you and I have kept in touch, and just maybe a handful of others out of our whole prison journey. I'm pretty sure there's only a few we'll really stay in touch with for the rest of our lives. But that's, I think, a lot driven by, like you said, the courage to be different, to be kind, to feed a person when they're hungry, no matter what they look like or where they come from, right? So what's your biggest battle in life? I know you've had many, but what would say your biggest battle in life was, or still is?
Embracing my new identity, just coming into a full Michael, being Michael, going back to being that kid. Like, I'm Michael now. That's how I introduce myself. When I meet people now, like, how you doing? I'm Michael. I don't introduce myself with Spade no more. That's part of who I am. People still call me that. It don't bother me. But when I introduce myself, I say I'm Michael now. So, that was like for years, I would never like introduce myself with my real name, because I was under that Spade.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The transformation.
Yeah.
Is a battle, right?
Yeah. It could be a battle.
Absolutely. And I know it's still a little bit of that person within us, right? Because I feel like it's almost like you want to completely shed that old person and old ways, right? When you're transforming into a new person. But in a way, you grasp onto certain qualities still. And it's for protection, right? Like, you have something within you if you needed to protect your family, right? Just like me. And so I try to study that a lot, because I try to figure out if I've transformed so much, like people say and people have observed, why do I still feel a lot of the same things I used to feel? And for me, I haven't figured that out yet. Maybe soon I'll figure that out. But in a way, it's to protect us right now, I think. Because it's a crazy world, as you know, and when you grow up in a crazy environment, you want to have a little bit of that still in you to survive. Just like prison, you got to transform into another person in there to survive. So what do you think? Do you think you'll ever fully just be a completely different person and none of that's there, or you'll always take a little bit of that with you?
I'll always have something there with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah. And so is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing, but I'm not going to react like to the way I used to because of certain things. But I think that keeps that balance,
Yeah.
of who I am.
I'm
not going to let that overrule like the good part of me,
Yeah, you have it contained.
Yeah.
You've mastered yourself enough to contain it, to yield it where it needs to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't be sitting on this couch right now if I didn't was able to master that. But it's always gonna be a part of me. I'm gonna have a part of me.
Yeah. Well, use that, whatever it is, that feeling, those feelings. This is from me doing it. Use it to fuel your passions and purpose in life. To go like pursue things that you really want to pursue. Right? You got to have like some level of fight within you to do that. Right? And a little bit of a monster in you to do that. But the fact that you can control it is the most important thing. Right?
Take that energy that's in me and put that towards something positive.
Right.
It'll go hard at that instead of going hard at the other thing, and that, I'll be successful with that.
Because to completely deny it or try to act like it wasn't there is very unhealthy, it's dangerous. And at some point, maybe one can truly shed that. But I think that where we're at in life, we're still trying to just contain it. And I think we have it under control, but it's important that we fuel it in positive ways. Right? That's what I've learned. And because we can't deny our pasts. Right, our traumas and all the things we saw and experienced and felt, and all the letdowns and all the people that we gave our life for that let us down. I mean, it's just a cathedral full of stuff, right? And so it takes, so much to balance that out. And in the meantime, use it to accomplish greatness, which you will, because you've already done so much in these short periods of time out.
I didn't want to get out being bitter
Yeah.
or none of that, you know, because I've seen people come home that bitter, you know, because they feel like this person didn't do this for them, this person didn't do that for them. They feel like they was left for dead and stuff. So that can linger within a person, you know. And that's one something I said. I don't want to get out like that. Get out. I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free mentally. You know, that's a major thing. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's powerful. Any last thing you want to say before we close?
yeah, thank you, man, for having me on your podcast, and appreciate all the good work you're doing, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing your thing.
Appreciate it, man.
All the things you plan came to fruition. You know, so it's good. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Well, you know, I have these visions of things, and my visions include you, and it'll happen when it's meant to happen, and you're out, and just know that I'm always here to help.
Yes, sir.
And you know, like, we're gonna help create a better world, and I feel like we're all out here together, and the more of us that are out here together can really make that happen.
Yes.
And so, you know, I'm just doing what I told you I was going to do when I was in there. I'm just doing that, but I couldn't have made it out without the help of others, and I can't do it out here without the help of others. So know that you are part of this too, and we will accomplish these things that we set out to accomplish. And I appreciate you, Michael, and really love you, man.
You too,
Really
man.
do. And
One more
appreciate
thing
it.
I gotta say.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, young guys, you know, a lot of times they, like I said, we're taught to like hold everything and don't ask for help because it looks like we're being weak. But nah, you know, that's a sign of strength if you can go out and ask somebody, you know, man, I don't know something, like, can you help me with this or can you help me with that? You know, because that could be that gets you over the hump. You know, that person can point you in the right direction or whatever it may be that help. So don't be afraid to ask for help. It's the
Yeah.
main thing, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Yep. Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you.